ladies and gentlemen, we're going live just a snid bit early because the Hall of Fame ballots have been revealed, released, reviewed, reprinted, rewritten, and erased again. We have 3 new members of the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. Adrian Beltre on his first ballot gets in. Joe Mauer on his first ballot gets in. And Todd Helton of Matty's Rockies gets in. They just told us Billy 5 votes.
Damn.
So Wagner missed out. And whoever you 5 schmucks are out there who didn't vote for Wagner, how could you?
What was oh my God, what was I just about to say?
Okay,
because Wagner was above the 75.
Wagner 73.8, Gary Sheffield 63.9, Andrew Jones 61.6, Carlos Beltran 57.1, A-Rod 34.8, Manny Ramirez 32.5.
So for Billy Wagner, what number was this ballot for him? Like which ballot is this for him?
Wagner would still have time.
Okay, Wagner still has time.
Wagner still has time. Andrew Jones still has time.
I was about to say, there's some names on here that this was their last time, correct?
Sheffield, I think this was his last shot.
Yeah, Sheffield will go to the Veterans Committee after this. They'll put him in because he should be there.
So
there's no
missed by 5 votes. Andrew still has time.
Wagner retired. His last year was 2010, so he got to wait 5 years. So he would have first appeared in 2015.
So this is his 9th year.
Yeah.
Chase Utley, 28%. Omar Vizquel, 17. Bobby Abreu, 14.8. Jimmy Rollins, 14.8. Andy Pettit, 13.5. Mark Burley, 8.3. K-Rod, 7.4. Torrey Hunter, 7.3. David Wright, 6.2. They will remain on the ballot, though I bet it's got to be at the end of his vote.
Yeah. Congratulations to the 3 that have just gotten into the Hall of Fame. As a Rockies fan who has not had anything to cheer for in the last 20 years of my life as a Rockies fan, very happy to see Todd Helton get something and a Hall of Fame spot that he very damn well deserves.
Yeah. 2 Rockies lasted a while. Larry Walker.
Larry Walker as well.
Larry Walker got in, although he played for the Expos and a few other teams too. But
and then
looks
Adrian
like Jose Bautista, Victor Martinez, Bartolo Colon, Matt Holliday, Adrian Gonzalez, Brandon Phillips, Jose Reyes, and James Shields will no longer be on the ballot. They did not reach the 5% threshold to remain. All 8 of those gentlemen are officially off the ballot, and it will be up to the Veterans Committee somewhere down the road to see if they should be in.
Raymond popped into the chat. Also, Raymond was just in the ER the other day, aggravated up his back. So, well wishes out to you, Ray. Breaking news about The Rock being on the board of trustees, and Raw is going to be on Netflix starting January 5th, 2025. What are your boys' thoughts?
Rock the Dwayne has come quite far. The Netflix kind of surprises me a bit, since Netflix has kind of been, as far as the streaming services go, they've kind of been on the downward trend. Maybe they think this would bring them on an upward trend.
Well, the thing with this is we knew it was going to go to like a streaming service. We knew it was going to go to like an Amazon or stay with Peacock or something like that. At no point in anybody's mind did I think anybody think Netflix was going to be the home.
So that means for the first time in 32 years, Monday Night Raw will not be on cable television.
Now, this SmackDown is going to the USA Network, correct?
SmackDown is going to USA. NXT is going to the CW. Raw is going to Netflix.
Wow, what a weird fucking time we live in, guys. What a weird fucking time. Davey, what are your thoughts on this? I know you don't really cover WWE anymore, but in terms of what this means.
Well, I don't watch it. I cover it, but I don't watch it. I'm curious to see what this will do to the style of product they will be able to put out. Will they
Could
tend
be.
away from the PG-13 style that they're associated with now? And the other thing is Netflix, there won't be the commercials, so you won't have as many adverts on there.
Unless Netflix chooses to go an ad route.
Yeah, it's possible, but I mean, I don't think you would see as many as you do on Mondays.
Davy's point, I think, with the two other shows staying, one on cable, the other on broadcast, I think they remain in the PG-13.
Most likely, yeah.
Because
Netflix, they probably have a lot more room with Raw.
Yeah,
well,
but
yes, but they're not going to have a rated R program and then
No, it won't be rated R, but I do see Raw becoming maybe a slightly more edgy product.
yeah, which I think they would need, right? You could put
Desperately.
like whatever style of matches you would want in that vein, you would do on Raw, and then SmackDown would be a different style product under the same banner, right? Which I think would be good.
and the network will remain on Peacock.
For the next year and a half or so?
To my knowledge, yeah, I'm not 100%.
Because they signed a 5-year deal with Peacock. This is I don't think we talked about it. This is a 10-year, $5 billion deal.
WWE, when they were sold, were valued at what, $9
One
billion?
at a time, guys. Yeah, they're making a lot of coin on that, so good for them. I mean, that's bottom line. You got to make money, right? That's whatever promotion you are. WWE excels at that. So
2026 is when the deal with the cock ends.
Okay, so in 2 years. Okay.
So we could very well see the network moving to the Netflix.
Raymond, Dwayne Johnson is now the owner of the name The Rock now.
Wow, you own a rock. It's not like he wasn't using it. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, now he can just go buy The Rock. I mean,
get your WWE pet rock at wweshop.com. Coming soon.
Does it have a USB port?
Most likely, yes. Other WWE news, keep an eye on William Regal, if you are a fan.
What have you been hearing about the Regal?
He might be beginning to make TV appearances in the NXT, which would be excellent for their product because he was an excellent on-screen character. And if it's in the role that he had before, which was of a GM style character, with the work that they're doing with Nick Aldis,
Commissioner Regal.
Yeah.
All games.
Yeah, but no, that would work really well down there, right? And it would tie in the three GMs quite well. So hopefully they do that.
I would not use him in a GM role.
He's perfect for it.
I would make him a mouthpiece, a manager for someone who is going to really need a mouthpiece because Heyman only has so many more years left.
I'm pretty sure Davies alluded to this. There's a team that doesn't necessarily need a mouthpiece, but the mouthpiece of William Regal would do them absolute wonders.
Yes.
Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne.
They are on the main roster, though, is the thing. So that would take Regal out of NXT.
I like
pairing.
Shawn Michaels and Ava down in NXT. I like doing what they're doing in NXT. So Regal being on the main roster, I would not be opposed to it if he's not on NXT.
William Regal as the mouthpiece for Braun Breaker.
I think Braun, at some point, ends up sided with Paul.
Heyman?
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see that too, but that's just I'm thinking. I mean, how much longer is Braun going to base in NXT? I mean,
he'll have a call up fairly sure. There's nothing
probably post Mania.
Yeah, or even leading up. You'll probably see him Saturday, I would say.
But if he gets paired with Paul Heyman, I still need Braun Breaker to do promos because we need the spiritual son of Scott Steiner to be spitting promos.
But if you remember back to the NXT AEW head-to-head on Tuesday, right, where WWE hauled out everybody to put on that episode, Paul Heyman was one of them. And that little meeting between Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker was not an accident and wasn't a throwaway, I don't think.
Oh, I don't think it was an accident or a throwaway,
So
nor was he and Rock's daughter.
So that was laying the seeds for something down the line. Right? Roman's barely there now. Once he drops those titles, he's not going to be there. Braun would slip into that role quite easily.
Speaking of Roman Rock and Saudi, internal talks about it. If they don't do it at Mania, they just shouldn't do it. I don't think Saudi is where you have that match.
No. Just due to the time frame that it would be coming on over here. It's on like 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning. It's basically a Wrestle Kingdom.
Also, Cap is watching the returns in the New Hampshire primary. We're pretty sure we know Trump is going to win that one, unfortunately. However, watching to see how close, if at all, Nikki Haley gets. Right now, she is winning New Hampshire by 6 votes. But that's something else I will be monitoring as well.
All right, boys, where are we going to hop into first, baseball or football?
Oh, just before we leave the wrestling.
Go ahead, Dave.
Mr. Okada. There's no confirmed reports of Okada going to NXT.
Like I told Kat, because he messaged me on the outside of the show.
I mean, WWE, not NXT. There's no way in flying blue hell they would send him to NXT.
So here's the thing.
They sent Gunther there, and they sent Dragunov there.
I was about to say, here's the thing. With Okada, if they send him to NXT, it's simply to get him acclimated to their style. To
that style of wrestling, yes.
And I had a conversation with someone off the air as well about this. It would do great things for him to work with people down there as well as acclimate to the WWE style.
He's 36. His clock is ticking.
Not in the WWE style, my friend.
The same age as Gunther.
Gunther's
and he's
clock
just
is
as good as Gunther.
Yeah.
The thing here is I just don't see it with Okada going to NXT. Like I told Cap on the outside of the show, the source that we're getting this from is hardly reputable. Like, yes, it's a Japanese publication, but just because...
I thought you were going to say Zero News.
No, just because it's a Japanese publication doesn't mean that it's concrete. As other people have said, I'm waiting on Sean to report it. Yes, I'm waiting on Sean Ross Sapp to give actual report or details because Fightful has the most concrete evidence in a lot of these situations.
If you're going to send arguably the number 1 or number 2 best wrestler arguably on the planet to their developmental program, you got issues between the ears, my friend.
Well, the thing is though, right? We know how good he is, but we know all the things that he's done and the matches that he's had and the accolades over his career. Right? We know this. Anybody that watches more than WWE knows all this. The people that only watch WWE do not know any of this. And it's going to be hard for them to educate their audience on it due to a lot of the matches that he's had, who he's had them with. They're not going to be bringing up Kenny Omega. They're not going to be bringing up Jay White. And they're not going to be bringing up Ospreay due to where they were.
No, but they can bring up people like Nakamura, Muta. They can bring up names that he has worked with over there because he's been wrestling for quite some time. The thing with Okada is, and going back to the conversation I had with someone off air, this is his easiest route potentially for longevity and the steady flow of income that comes with the ridiculous merchandise that would be sold off Rainmaker t-shirts, off of action figures, video game appearances. And this also opens him up to a WWE Legends contract down the road. So him working with WWE could be Okada doing what Nakamura is doing and, making that sustainable money until he retires whenever he plans on it.
Yeah. Oh, his income would be fine. Yeah. I don't think
Okada would have it easy compared to what he was doing in Japan.
Yeah. I don't think what you'll see in the ring will be comparable to what we've
not in the slightest, but if it's better,
there are at least a good handful of guys he could have phenomenal matches with.
Oh, he'll have fantastic matches. The thing is if this is what Okada wants, if this is what Okada feels is the best thing for his career, do it. Because he's already given so much to New Japan. He's been the ace for the last 10 years.
Yes.
He deserves the right and ability to do whatever the fuck he wants in the sphere of wrestling.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. And
Cap, who watches little to no, well, not no, but very little Japanese wrestling. I try to watch when I can, but Okada's been one of 2 or 3 guys who even
caught your eye,
catches my eye that I want to.
It's vacation time, Josh.
That I will go out of my way. Yeah, you're leaving Denver to come down to 40-degree Arkansas. Lost my train of thought. Damn it, Mansfield. That could be
2 or 3 Japanese.
That could be a new slogan. Damn it, Mansfield. Yeah, Okada's one of those few guys that I try to keep up with, and
it'll depend.
I never.
At the end of the day, At the end of the day, it's going to come down to what Okada feels is best for him going forward and what he still wants to accomplish. Right.
I hate to say this.
Both options. TNA is an option, but it's an outside one. I would say what they're doing is good coming out of the gate, but I don't think they're there yet where they get them.
Yeah, again, nowhere near as much exposure as the other 2 promotions.
No, and that's what it'll come down to there. But I mean, it's Okada's decision, and it's likely down between WWE and AEW, right?
And I don't think Okada would have an issue at all going to developmental. I really don't think he would have an issue, especially if it's, hey, we need you to tone down your,
everything,
your style, so that way you don't, 1, injure people here, and because they're not ready for this.
Yeah, and that's 2, the one thing there, right?
And 2, get him ready for what he should be doing, and that's having at least 3 WrestleMania main events within the next 5 years.
Yeah, so he would likely get those. He went to AEW, wouldn't have to change his style at all.
Josh says hello.
That fits right in.
You're fine.
He would still get the money because I mean Tony can afford to pay him whatever Paul would. WWE, it closes the doors to him working anywhere else. AEW, it doesn't. Right? So there's plus and minuses to both. WWE would be an easier road as far as in ring goes, as punishment on his body and stuff. AEW would not. Right? It's a harder hitting style. So see how it plays out.
I would say if I am Okada, I am talking to my agent who is probably be negotiating this particular contract, and an ironclad part of that contract is I never set foot in an NXT ring. I am not going to developmental. You will either put me on one of the 2 main shows, or I will not work with you.
Hold on. Here's the thing. There are some people down there that could do absolute wonders with matches with Okada. Couple names that come to mind would be Obafemi, if they keep him around. What's his name? Jensen from Briggs and Jensen.
Yeah.
And Trick Williams. If you put Trick Williams in there with Okada can carry that match and make Trick Williams look
This would be the equivalent of 1992. If NXT existed in 92, Ric Flair doesn't go directly to the main roster. Ric Flair goes to NXT because Okada is that level of performer.
No. Different. Everybody knew Rick.
He's got a very good point here.
Right. The main roster, if you plunk him down on a Raw, on a main roster, with no prior build, or here's who this Okada person is, it won't work as well as you think it will.
You're sounding like
Rick-
Kevin Dunn, Davey. No one's going to know who Terry Funk is.
It won't, Captain. It won't. The fan base they're very isolated. Not all of them, right? Not all of them, but a lot of them. They watch that one product and that one product only.
So, Josh, my only argument to this: the shows that happened, the Japanese shows that happened. One, Charlie Dempsey going to All Japan. That's a one-time deal. Maybe we'll see some more people from NXT go over there. Yeah. The other one was the Great Muda's retirement match, and he requested specifically to wrestle Nakamura. Yeah. Or not, his retirement match, but his retirement show.
Yeah.
And that took months and months and months.
And in order for that to happen, Nakamura basically held company by the balls because he's like, I can leave.
Why is it so hard for WWE to work with New Japan? Did Antonio Inoki have pictures of Vince McMahon having sex with Satan? I mean, what is the deal here?
Who does New Japan Pro Wrestling work with?
Everybody.
There's your answer.
Not everybody. Not everybody,
no. But they specifically work and have a very good partnership with AEW.
So. Lest we forget that two Mexican promotions can't stand each other's fucking guts.
Yeah.
Well, New Japan, of the major wrestling promotions on the planet, to me, apart from AEW in the U.S., New Japan has the best working relationship with every other group on the planet. I mean, really how many guys go to Japan? How many guys from Japan go? I mean, Japan works with a shitload of promotions. Why is it so tough to get the biggest promotion, arguably the second biggest promotion on the planet, New Japan Pro Wrestling, to work with the biggest one, WWE? I mean, how is it?
My take on that is, if they're going to hop into bed with somebody, they have to feel they can trust the person they're in bed with.
Yes, agreed.
Right. Has WWE done anything?
Under Vince, no. Under Vince, no. Although I am hoping and praying. I know you call him Paul McMahon, which there is a lot of McMahon and Paul Levesque, but I'm hoping and praying that under this administration, especially with them, now under that TKO banner with UFC, I mean, there's Japanese guys who do UFC, mixed martial arts. I'm hoping this will sort of grease the door hinges to get something like that going. It won't be overnight, obviously, but you would hope and think, okay, the 80-year-old senile old man is gone. We have, Levesque, who at least is a student of wrestling, loves the history of wrestling of all promotions. You would think he would be far more amenable to these types of things. You would think, you would hope. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but you would think and hope.
We've already seen hell freeze over once. I don't see it happening again. I don't see the Bucks going to WWE.
Oh, God, don't get... Oh. I had a nice taste in my mouth, Maddie. I was in a really good humor, and then you mentioned those two shows.
Josh, you know what? Tanahashi could very well be the bridge to try to get WWE to work with New Japan.
That is possible.
And to answer Raymond's question there, no. I do not ever see the Young Bucks or the Bucks or Matthew and Nicholas Jackson going to WWE.
Or Matt and Nick or
whatever iteration they are.
What were the other ones? What were the other ones? What the fuck? When they were Generation Me.
Yeah, no, they'll never be in the WWE.
Well, everyone knows Cap's thoughts on those two gentlemen. Therefore, I'm interested with the new gimmick. I won't lie. I'm interested with the new gimmick.
Well, it's an authority type gimmick that's partial kayfabe and partial reality. So they're blending the two of them, which is good because reality actually happens, right?
Most overrated? No. That still goes to the Hardys. They're still wrestling.
Yeah. Although Matt Jeff looked good there in his match with Darby. It was a singles match, and it was definitely a Jeff style match because they were jumping off everything and going through tables.
Have you seen their mustaches, Josh? Those two look like gentlemen.
I was being polite, Josh, because I'm in the presence of a huge Young Bucks fan who is a good friend of mine, and also another Young Bucks fan who is essentially my brother from another mother.
Now, I'm not a big Young Bucks fan. I will say I can see FTR going back.
Well,
that is one team I can see going.
Okay, here's the difference. If you and I walked up to the Young Bucks and they were on fire, I wouldn't even bother to piss on them. You probably would. So,
FTR, no, I don't see them going back either.
I can see them going back. That's one team I can see going back just to wrestle tag teams.
God, WWE's tag team division is so shit right now.
I do see one guy going there at some point. Just Ricky Starks. I do
see Ricky Starks in WWE eventually.
I think Ricky Starks, with his in-ring style and his character and the way he
reminds me a lot of The Rock.
Yeah, like he's really good in the ring. He's not great, but he's really good. And his character and promo.
Well, he's still pretty young, though, isn't he? He's in like 25, 26.
I'm pretty sure Ricky's young.
Yeah, I mean, he's still developing.
No, he's old.
And as I said earlier, if WWE doesn't get Okada, no big deal for WWE. I still think them missing out on Ospreay.
Oh, shit, he's 33?
Yeah, Ospreay's 33.
What?
Or
Ricky Starks is 33.
Yeah.
You got to be fucking shitting me. Anywho, I was saying WWE missing out on Ospreay, I think they will live to regret that. And I think missing out on MJF, if they ultimately do, they will. Those two guys are. Okada at this juncture is not a long-term game changer. MJF and Ospreay are.
Andrade, yes, he does go back to WWE.
Yeah, I would expect to see Andrade Saturday. To answer Josh's other comment there.
Oh, what up, Benny? Thank you for tuning in.
Hello, Benny.
WWE.
What about Wardlow in WWE?
He's a perfect fit.
Yeah, I don't think
AEW has fumbled him so badly that I don't know how you redeem Wardlow at this.
Well, didn't Wardlow say that they disrespected him a couple of years ago during a tryout?
Yeah, he wasn't too impressed with that. But the storyline they're doing with him now, that's going somewhere. So I'm willing to let
it is.
See
I do like what they're doing with him at this point. I will say that.
For Josh's other comment there, WWE right now could very easily do a trios championship. I 100% agree with that.
Not more belts. God damn it.
No, they could.
They easily could.
One set of belts, right? Because they got a lot of factions there now, and the factions that they have are working. So you do one set of belts.
More.
So you do one set of
cap.
So you do one set of belts.
Go ahead, Davey.
SmackDown, Raw, NXT, and you float them. You don't have them brand specific.
I think I can sell Cap on this as well. I think I can help sell Cap on this. The inaugural trios champions would be Finn Balor, Dom Mysterio, and JD McDonough.
Yeah. And they got the teams to challenge for them, right? You got your Alpha Academy, right? It would help Tozawa because Tozawa can fucking wrestle.
Yes, he can.
They don't
greatest German suplex in all of wrestling.
Yeah, they don't show it, but he can.
Over Brock.
And you got Karrion Kross's new group. You got Bobby Lashley's group. All you got to do is add one guy to Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, right? Charlie Dempsey comes to mind if you're going to add Regal, right?
Ooh,
so there's
more
so there's another
fewer belts.
So there's another group right there, right? You know, it's easily done. It's easily done. But
I can totally see Andrade in the Rumble. Sorry, Davey.
But they got to, in order to do all this, they got to get the amount of wrestling they put on their TV shows up above an average of 30% per show.
All right, boys, we've got 30 minutes on. We have gone 30 minutes on wrestling, and we still have to talk about playoff football and there's been a lot of moves in baseball and football. So where do we want to hit first?
Well, let's take a look at baseball real quick just to see what's been going on. Obviously, Beltre, Helton, and Mauer. Beltre and Mauer, first ballot guys getting in. Beltre wasn't one of my favorite players, but resume more than speaks for himself. For itself, Beltre, congratulations from our resident baseball lunatic, Joe Mauer.
And a quick rundown on Beltre. He's a 4-time All-Star, 5 Gold Gloves, 2 Platinum Gloves, 4 Silver Sluggers, 3,166 hits, 477 home runs. His number 29 retired by the Rangers. That is a Hall of Fame resume.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I am in no way knocking Beltre. I'm just saying he wasn't like one. He wasn't a Cap guy. He wasn't a my guy. He wasn't a Heyman guy. But hey, Beltre, spectacular career. You've more than earned this. Mauer was a Cap guy ever since he broke into the league. Mauer's induction gives me the biggest smile of the day. Because me going from early 2000s, keeping up with this guy in college and the minors, watching his pro career, having him on several fantasy teams, and now seeing him go into the Hall of Fame, that gives Cap the biggest smile of the day. Todd Helton, never watched a lot of Rockies baseball, but I looked at his resume. He more than deserves it. Congrats, Todd Helton. But Mauer's the biggest smile of the day for me, just because I've watched this kid from college to the minors to the pros all his career, and now it's like I'm finally feeling just a little bit rewarded for my psychotic baseball love, in that a player that I watched from the time he was just getting out of high school, college, minors, and now he's in the Hall. It makes my psychotic baseball fandom just seem that much more worth it.
And you're reaching that age now where you're going to experience that, right? You'll see these guys come in and follow them all the way through, till today, to the ultimate recognition of your career accomplishments.
It's one of the best feelings as a fan to see that.
I've lived through that. I'm like a decade and a half ahead of you.
Yeah, I mean it's a great feeling. I mean, I was never a Twins fan, but I always fucking loved Joe Mauer. I mean, he was an everyday dude that did his job, and I still remember buying it was either, I can't remember if it was MLB The Show or Triple Play, whatever the iteration of the video game was at the time.
It was The Show.
It was The Show, okay. On PS2, we're now on PS5. PS6 has actually been announced for a few years down the road. I remember buying that and instantly playing with the Twins because I wanted to play with Joe Mauer. So it's
Alora will be getting ready for bed, so not today.
That would be a negative.
So it makes Cap's soul happy. I wish I had an autographed ball or jersey of his. I've been too busy collecting other guys' stuff that I wanted my whole life. Once I started making some actual money, and I started, gathering up stuff from my all-timers that I wanted.
And I think we should have a moment of silence here for Raymond. Go Anaheim? My God, Raymond, you are in for a long season, my man.
You realize I'm a White Sox fan, Raymond. I mean, the psych ward always has one more spot open.
Once again, Devin has claimed the Orioles as his team for this year.
Well, look at Johnny come lately.
As for me, I'm sticking with the Red Sox this year. Just because Todd Helton got inducted in the Hall of Fame doesn't mean the Rockies are doing a damn thing this year.
No, it does not.
Well, finishing last will be a thing.
I will say, though, once again,
that lockdown.
Congratulations. Thank you, Todd Helton.
And shout out to Josh.
To all three of them. Phenomenal careers.
And a shout out to Josh there. He must have been an Expos fan at one time, so go Canada.
Josh, all I heard was sign and balls. Go
I said I
Guardians.
wish I had a signed ball or jersey to add to my collection that I have here of Joe Mauer's, and I may at some point. But yeah, Cap is happy tonight. He gets to see a guy he's followed his entire professional career and even
Great
collegiate
gentlemen
career
who definitely deserve it.
become a Hall of Famer. So,
And a big signing from the Astros.
Josh Hader.
Josh Hader.
5 years, $95 million.
Okay, so is this a rotational guy or is this a?
He's a closer.
He's arguably.
Josh Hader is arguably the best closer in baseball the last 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Remember, I've gotten back into baseball in 2 years. Yeah,
Josh Hader is arguably the best closer in baseball over the last half decade. He is a phenomenal pitcher.
Is Cat going to have to sit on me so I don't destroy his house? I don't think that's necessary. However, hopefully I don't break another chess piece.
Hopefully not.
Otherwise, I'm going to have to owe him 2 chess sets.
But to give you a quick rundown on Josh Hader, from 2017 to 2023, minimum 300 games.
Listen to this, Matty.
First in Ks, 648. 2.50 ERA, first. WHIP, 0.94, first. Ks per 9, 15, ranked first. Hits per 9, 4.9, ranked first. That is dominance.
Yes, and he's a lefty.
Coming in the ninth, coming in the ninth inning. That's you don't want to face that.
Is he more of a control or is he a speed pitcher?
No, he's a fireballer. He is slider and fastball.
Yeah.
He spent his career most of it all of it pretty much with the Brewers until he got traded to the Padres at the deadline last year. But yes, Josh Hader is arguably the best reliever closer in all of baseball, and that just makes that Houston lineup team roster more dangerous. And I've always been a Josh Hader guy. I love him. I hate that he went to a team I despise, but I'm still going to draft him if I get a shot at it. Wink, wink.
Oh, Raymond, you've seen me after a Broncos loss. You know I don't get aggressive when I get mad. I just get really, really sad.
And really, really fucking drunk.
Shush!
Well, you've seen me when the White Sox blow a game, I get really fucking pissed.
Cap gets mad.
I get mad. Matty just gets depressed.
I get sad.
But yeah, we also have a arguably big signing. The Pirates. This kind of surprised because the Pirates are not known for going after free agents. The Pirates signed Aroldis Chapman, 1 year, $10.5 million. I'm kind of surprised. Well, number one, the Pirates don't go after free agents. They also have David Bednar, who has emerged the last couple seasons as I wouldn't say a dominant closer. I would say a more than competent closer. But with the arrival of Chapman, that makes you wonder, are they going to be a closer by committee, or is Bednar going to be reduced to a setup role? Is Chapman going to be the setup guy? You don't really know at this point. We'll see how the spring and early season goes on, but Chapman is now a Pittsburgh Pirate. 1 year, $10.5 million.
As somebody who has watched Chapman, this is someone I remember from whenever I was watching when I was younger. Chapman was always a guy that had insane speed to his pitches. Now that has dropped down quite.
Well, yeah, Chapman holds the MLB record for the fastest pitch ever thrown at 108 miles an hour, I believe. 107, 108.
Benny says that he could be a great bounce back player. I look at this season more as his last prove it year before he might be relegated to the minors.
The problem is the team he's on, I'm not sure how many closing opportunities he's going to get with Pittsburgh.
If he's the setup guy and he proves that he can do it without giving up runs like he has the last several years, then we'll see. But Aroldis Chapman has not been the same for the last 5-6 years.
I think what this is the same thing as when Kansas City signed him last year.
Agreed.
Right? He will be with Pittsburgh until the deadline, and then he's going to get flipped to a contender for prospects. Because Pittsburgh is in no way contending. Pittsburgh is in no way contending in
principally a new fucking owner is what the Angels need.
Yeah, the I don't know what to make of the Angels
he just said
this year. Like I really, other than them wasting Mike Trout's career,
which they have done.
They've done a damn good job at wasting a Hall of Fame career.
If your job was to waste Mike Trout, by God, Los Angeles, have you ever done it?
But is Mike Trout a loyal guy?
Like they got a third baseman that rarely plays because he's injured all the time in Rendon.
Oh, Rendon also in an interview this week said the season has got to be shortened because there's just too many games. Motherfucker, you've averaged playing 58 games a year the last 3 years.
They would have to shorten it to 50 games in order for him to be effective. Yeah. But they got a lot of holes. Like,
we got a player bitching about the length of the season.
It's like, motherfucker, you never fucking play, Rendon. Shut the hell up.
Well, if you want it shortened to 50 games, then
he is Albert Pujols 2.0 minus the talent.
Then we'll take 2/3 of your salary. Are you still up for that, Anthony? Probably not.
Yeah, I was about to say, you understand why you get paid so much. It's because you play for half the fucking year.
Yeah, like baseball will start at the end of March last week, and it won't finish till the end of September. Like, that's a long-ass season. With a lot of games.
I was about to say, that is legitimately maybe 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it goes into October. The playoffs go into October. So, it's
but the regular season is 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah. The Angels will not have to worry about the postseason festivities in 2024. But it's the longest season of any
professional sport.
Yeah, like hockey's 82. I believe NBA is 82.
NBA is 82.
MLB's 162.
Yeah. So,
and the NFL is at a whopping 18.
Yeah.
Well, 17. You get a bye week.
Yeah. 18 weeks.
The Dodgers continue to be busy in the free agent market. They have signed starting pitcher James Paxton to an $11 million deal.
Former Red Sox.
Yep.
Also former Mariner. Paxton underwent for 20. I'm reading here on ESPN. He made 6 starts 2020 to 2022 after herniated disc surgery as well as Tommy John surgery. He returned last year. Did not have a very good season with Boston. But he has now officially signed with the Dodgers, who continue to accumulate players. And
7-5 last year with a 4.50 ERA and a 1.31 WHIP, 101 strikeouts,
not very
96
good.
innings. But he's not.
I've always liked James Paxton because I just, as a baseball fan, I've just always liked Paxton. I like him as a dude. I just like Paxton, but
he's not going to be a go-to guy on that rotation, right? So,
and he has been incredibly injury prone his entire, not just that span 20 to 20. He's been injury prone his entire career.
So you might be able to do more of a swing
this
man.
Actually, been talked about because I have not seen this anywhere.
Nor have I, Davey.
Haven't seen that yet.
Let us do a quick NFL 20 game season. Jerry Jones is in favor of it.
Of course he is. It's more money.
But he wants it, but he doesn't think it would work.
So my initial thought of this being not a good idea would make sense where Jerry Jones is in favor of it.
let us not forget Jerry Jones suffers from both senility, dementia, schizophrenia, and Alzheimer's all at the same
And
time.
please,
Ooh.
let's look. We already have a lot of fucking injuries this season. A lot.
Yeah.
Why would we want to add two more weeks to the season if they want to play 20
Here comes
games?
the money.
Well, hey,
Here comes the money.
money is one thing. Players' well-being for getting smashed against each other for 20 fucking games is a whole other thing.
That's not a good idea.
Now, Raymond did say 2 bye weeks. That might be nice for the teams.
The Nationals of Washington, the former Montreal Expos, have signed outfielder Joey Gallo to a 1-year, $5 million deal.
I do like Joey Gallo.
He is 30 years old, has a career, with the Twins last year, hit 177 with a 301 on-base percentage and a 440 OPS. Joey Gallo, long known for a guy who can't hit the broadside of the barn unless it's a fastball straight down the pipe.
But whenever he makes contact, it's going over the fence.
Yeah, this is a buy low deal in the hopes that he can do literally anything and flip him at the deadline. That's all that is. Because Washington is not going to contend in that division either.
Yeah. We do have some sad news to report in the world of baseball. Cubs Hall of Famer Ryne Sandberg has been diagnosed with metastatic prostate cancer.
Oh, that is sad.
I actually remember when I was a wee little child, I had a Ryne Sandberg baseball card, and it was one of the few cards I refused to trade. So Ryne Sandberg, get well, get healthy. This is actually the exact same disease that took out my grandfather. So
Prayers up.
Get healthy soon, my friend.
And that goes back to what you and I were speaking on earlier, being able to watch a player first come in and follow their whole career until, I got that opportunity with Ryne, right? Because he came up in the early 80s. So very much enjoyed his baseball career. Sticking with baseball for a moment, we have some new players joining the Hall of Fame ballot for 2025.
Oh, Manager Jim Leland. Well, the Legends Committee. Manager Jim Leland.
Ichiro will be on the ballot next year.
He's got to be a first ballot, yeah.
He's
oh God, yes.
CC Sabathia, I don't think gets in.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a first
I don't dislike CC, but I don't think he's a first ballot guy.
Justin Pedroia is another one.
Okay, Davey, before I let you talk about him, I feel injuries are going to keep him out of the Hall of Fame, but
he had the grit.
Oh my God, he had such a great career.
Oh, I love Pedroia. He was one of my favorite players.
He was the epitome of what a baseball player on the field should be. Like, rarely did he
and
leave.
Off the field. Did he ever get into any fucking issues?
No, like
he was like John Cena, did a ton of Make-A-Wish stuff.
Yeah, like he was a class act on and off, right? But injuries may derail him for the first several years, maybe. But good surprise.
I think Ichiro's a first ballot guy. Well, if Ichiro's not a first ballot guy, then the committee is off the fucking rocker.
Ichiro will be in. Felix
Pedroia, maybe not a first ballot, but he needs to get in.
Yeah,
I would love to see Pedroia get in. Did you just say King Felix?
King Felix is on the ballot next year.
I don't know if he's a first ballot, but I do see him getting in the Hall of Fame.
Again, a guy who should get in, not first ballot, but should get in.
I would like to see him get in first ballot because his career shows, the stats to prove it.
But he fell off so bad and so hard.
He could fall under the Andrew Jones category of playing himself out of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, like he had a really high spike.
Yeah.
That You're right. That dropped off really quick.
In his prime, there was nobody better. At his lowest, there was very few that were worse. So
The rest of the first ballot guys next year, I don't see getting in. Ian Kinsler, Ben Zobrist, Curtis Granderson, Troy Tulowitzki, Russell Martin, Hanley Ramirez, and Brian McCann.
Tulo had you talk injuries. Had Tulo remained healthy, that motherfucker was a baseball player. Had Tulo stayed healthy,
it's for every reason we talked about Pedroia.
yeah.
Tulo has the exact same issue.
Well, Pedroia was far more consistent for far longer. Tulowitzki was so good, but it was such a short span, and he kept getting hurt. I love Tulo, but
and yeah, Ichiro's a bona fide first ballot.
If not, then the committee's fucked in the head.
But no, but Tulo, yeah, definitely derailed by injuries.
I wouldn't say Tulo gets in. I think Pedroia should get in eventually. King Felix should get in eventually, but Ichiro should be a first ballot guy.
The only thing with Tulo is, and this kind of ties into the Todd Helton thing, his splits home and away, from cores to not cores. OPS at home over his career, 918. Away,
I knew it was over 900.
Away, 791.
Yeah,
that's not a Hall of Fame, right? So he had more of a cores effect than other people, than Helton did. Helton still had a high. It was 890 something.
Tulowitzki is probably the one guy in the last, let's say, rough decade, plus or minus decade, that I'm the most disappointed. Not in the human being, but disappointed in his career because.
But how many Gold Gloves did he have? Because I remember him much more for his glove than I do his bat.
Well, he was great at both, and that was the thing with Tulo is you could see it, and every baseball fan that I know, if you ask them 10 years ago, who is the best all-around player in baseball right now, Tulo would be in their top 3 to 5. Tulo was an absolute beast, but he was so bitten by the injury bug and the Colorado bug to a degree, as Davey just mentioned, that it makes me so sad that how good he was, that we didn't get to see him have a decade of dominance at shortstop, whereas he had like a 2-3 year window where he was, top notch.
Oh, from 2009 to 2011, that was his peak.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So about a 3-year run.
Yeah.
And then, well, when he played, 12, 13, 14, 15, when he played, he was arguably the best player on the field that day, but he hardly ever played because he was so oft injured. So Tulo, I love you. You're not Cooperstown material, but thank you for great games.
Thank you for your service.
Great years. Yeah, I can by no means shit on the man or his career, but not Cooperstown material, but Tulo.
Well, in 13 years,
so much.
Only 8 years did he play over 100 games.
Yeah.
So that's going to have an effect on him as far as voting goes.
Pedroia was on course to be a first ballot, but his knees just couldn't hold up.
I would agree there.
Yeah. Again, injuries are what might keep Pedroia out of the Hall of Fame as a whole, but I really hope he gets in.
1,805 hits, 805 OPS for his career, 140 home runs, 725 RBIs, 138 stolen bases.
Yeah. But
MVP award, Rookie of the Year award, that'll help him.
Yeah, I was about to say those will help him. Those will definitely help him.
And he had such a good string too, where he was a consistent 300 hitter. You look at his run from, was it 2011, 2012 to 2015, 16, that roughly that window. He was every year he was a 300 hitter.
He had over 300 5 times in 14-year career. Career batting average 299. So I mean,
So
he's right,
essentially
he's right
a
there.
career 300 hitter.
Yeah.
As
So,
Ben
yeah,
said, laser show.
Pedroia, if he didn't make first ballot, I wouldn't be upset. If he did, I'd be happy. If he didn't, I wouldn't be upset. But he should get in on no less than his.
Over the next
no
decade.
less than his.
Yeah, he should eventually get in. I don't think he gets in on his first go around.
If it took more than 3 years for Pedroia to get in, I would be a little upset. Because I could see it not happening on the first go round, even maybe the second, but by the third, come on, people. Anywho, well, before we get into the NFL, Cap is going to relieve some ballast. Anything baseball that you guys want to bring up in the intervening time?
Davey, do you want to promote the league?
Oh, the league. Yes. The second league that we're associated with. But yeah, Cap loves some fantasy baseball. More.
So, for all of our baseball fans listening, either on the show or later on, RAWBall is going to be doing a 12-team Yahoo Baseball League this year. It's a rotisserie setup. There will be a prize at the end of this. There's no fee to enter, right? So this one's on RAWBall. Winner will get $100. We'll be posting the link for it and the information probably either later this evening or tomorrow once we get it all finalized. So if you think you know your baseball and you want to go up against the RAWBall boys to prove it, here's your chance. With a little gold at the end of the rainbow for you if you do in fact topple the experts that we have here in the baseball field.
Oh yeah, experts. I am top-notch baseball knowledge.
Okay, well,
what year are we in?
Maddie, well, I was going to say the RAWBall league is in no relation to our private Red Stitch rotisserie league that's been going on since 2007, I believe, 2007, 2008. This will be Maddie's third year in the league, and he has finished dead last both years. Last year he went with the combination Japanese mustache strategy. Not great results.
Don't worry. This year I've got a sound strategy. I'm totally winning this year.
And we
Strictly
cannot wait
Dominican.
to see that strategy on draft day, my friend.
Strictly Dominican.
Strictly Dominican. That's actually not a bad strategy.
It's better than the other one, but
better than the other one. You have a mustache. Yes.
I'm looking forward to this.
Can I
I have
find the
not played in any
mustache
other fantasy baseball leagues other than Red Stitch since 2007, 2008. So I'm looking at having a second league to get my fingers into, because Cap just loves fucking baseball. Can't get enough of it. But yeah, Davey is captaining that ship. So
for those wondering, I will be the commissioner of said league.
Yes.
Captain will probably be co-commissioner, just so I don't have like everything to do.
And I'll be there.
Yes, and Maddie will be there as well.
Dev, more than likely.
I have well over a decade of experience running leagues, so this will be run very professionally. So you have whoever joins will have no worries.
If we sign Mansfield up, and if Maddie is able to finish in the top half of the league, can he send? Does that mean that he has to send Mansfield like an autographed shirtless 8x10 or something like that? just like some prize for like if Mansfield, if you join and you finish at least in the upper half of the league, Maddie will send you some sort of autographed sexy picture or something. I don't know.
So anybody that
That's
is
up to Maddie.
listening, anybody that is currently listening and is interested to get your name in, because you're probably looking at about 8 to 9 spots, depending on how many of our RAWBall team goes in here. Message us on the RAWBall at RAWBall123. Just DM us, and we will get back to you right away. If you see on our site there, we are quite active as far as reporting stuff and throwing stuff out. So, per Fightful, William Regal filmed a segment for the show tonight, as reported earlier through RAWBall. So, stay tuned.
All right, so we do have a bit of NFL news to get to.
Yes, we do. Before we get into the big meat of the conversation,
I'm gonna share my screen here just so we can dive into this. 49ers, Deebo Samuel. Yeah, that's from Undisputed Belts, who I have purchased my last 2 fantasy championships from. I have not purchased my 3rd one yet. I'm contemplating exactly for RAWBall, maybe thinking of something we can do for RAWBall, a belt, a trophy, whatever. 49ers Deebo Samuel does not have a fractured shoulder. However, his ability to play in the NFC Championship game is still up in the air.
So he's questionable at the moment.
50-50 at the moment.
I would say doubtful, officially questionable, but I would say doubtful. I think they would really miss him should he not play.
If he's not playing, that's a big part of their offense.
An experienced officiating crew to work the Super Bowl. The NFL has named Bill Vinovich as its lead referee for Super Bowl 53, pardon me. Vinovich's 3rd such assignment, his 2nd in the past 5 years. They've also named the umpires, line judges, what have you. The last Super Bowl he worked was Super Bowl 49. I'm not familiar with exactly.
Vinovich sounds familiar.
The name sounds familiar. His track record, he hasn't officiated a Super Bowl in 4 or 5 years. This is 40. No, this is 53. He hasn't done one since 40. So yeah, it'll be 4 years since he's done a Super Bowl. We'll get to more refereeing later on. The divisional playoffs averaged 40 million viewers, up 7% from last year. Bowls. Yes, this is some. The Titans are near a deal to name Cincinnati offensive coordinator Brian Callahan to be their head coach to replace Mike Vrabel. Apparently, this is pretty much a done deal because apparently the Bengals have already been talking about promoting quarterbacks coach, I forget his fucking name, to be their new OC. But it looks like the Titans are getting Brian Callahan to be their new head coach.
I think that'll be a good hire for them.
I wish Dev was here. Is Brian Callahan related to Bill Callahan, the coach of the Ravens who took them to the Super Bowl back in 2000?
See.
Let me see here. I do not know. But yes, that is a good move for Tennessee. We all know the NFL is going more offensive minded. The defensive head coach is becoming a thing of the past, unless your last name is Harbaugh or Belichick, and the latter is, we shall see there. I did hear an interesting theory on a podcast today. Davey, I'd like to get your thoughts on this one because you love both of these guys.
Hey, Cap, you are right. His father is Bill Callahan.
All right, there you go. Should Bill Belichick get the Atlanta job? I was hearing rumblings that he would want, since he's going to be a free agent this offseason, Belichick would want Baker Mayfield to be his quarterback.
What?
What would be Davey's thoughts with a Atlanta Falcons helmed by Bill Belichick and Baker Mayfield?
If Bill, depends on what Bill wants to do. If Bill wants to get back in the seat and get another ring, he's going to have to get a better quarterback than what they currently have there.
Well, yes, Desmond Ridder left, shall we say, things to be desired.
Just a few.
And Tyler Heineke, although I liked him in Washington, and I kind of liked him in Atlanta too, but
I feel like
he ain't the guy, right? So Baker showed enough this year, if you get the right team around him, where he could be the guy to get you there.
I have something to throw out there because I've
All
been
right.
talking about this with a coworker of mine.
Okay, let's hear it.
Bill Belichick becomes the head coach of the Falcons. He uses Taylor Heineke 1 year as the bridge quarterback because Taylor Heineke would more than likely fit a Bill Belichick scheme a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Use Taylor Heineke for 1 year and wait till the draft. See what the draft next year holds. Because Shedeur Sanders could potentially be one of the quarterbacks in that draft.
That is not at all unimplausible.
The only thing with that is
The
Bill
Falcons have all the weapons. They have all the weapons.
but Bill is getting a little long in the tooth. Does
Exactly.
Bill want to, for lack
If he
of
was
a
any
better,
longer in the tooth, he'd be a saber-toothed tiger.
so for lack of a better phrase here, does Bill want to fuck around for a year, right? And then hope the quarterback they drafted is the guy to get him there. Or go with the original kind of scenario of trying to sign Baker. That gets you there quicker.
So we have 4 quarterbacks to look into for next year. Shedeur Sanders.
You mean coming in the 2025 draft?
Yeah, for the 2025 draft, yes.
We got 5 probably going to go in the first round this year that we're aware of.
Yes.
Shedeur Sanders and who else?
Drew Alar. Let me see exactly where these kids are coming from.
Okay. I'm getting into the college. Look at you.
The only other thing with this too
is
we've seen it with C.J. Stroud this year.
Mm-hmm.
He's the real deal. He still couldn't get him there.
Yeah.
So you're kind of rolling the dice. Do I get a C.J. Stroud out of this 2025 draft, or do I get a Bryce Young? No disrespect to Bryce Young, but they had very different seasons.
Yeah, well, as I said several times during our Sunday Raw Ball Goes Red Zone, I am not thinking any more or less of Bryce Young after this season because
no, he didn't have a ton to work with, but
he is. Oh, good God! I'm basically. It's sort of like Trevor Lawrence's rookie year with what's his ass from Ohio State. I'm basically just forgetting everything I saw from Bryce Young because the deck was stacked too much against him for me to judge him in any way, shape, or form. Anyway, go ahead, Matty. Shedeur Sanders and who else?
All right. So Shedeur Sanders out of CU. Drew Alar out of Penn State, a 6'5", 242-pound quarterback.
You said Penn State. What was his name?
Drew Alar.
Okay.
2 L's AR.
Right.
Number 3 is Connor Wegman from Texas A&M.
I'm writing this down as you're speaking. Okay, Wegman, A&M.
All right. And number 4 would be Carson Beck out of Georgia.
Okay.
And number 5 is a name that I actually remember hearing about, I think, last year. Quinn Ewers, Ewers, out of Texas.
Okay.
So those are the top 5 quarterbacks potentially going into the draft next year.
Now, isn't a Manning the son of dipshit Manning?
Arch Manning. I don't.
Arch Manning, yes.
Let's see. I think he committed to Texas. Let me see.
Well, if Ewers is the guy there, he's going to be sitting for at least a season.
Well, that
he is a quarterback. Oh, sorry, Davey.
I was just going to say, like that kind of circles back to my point, right? How much time does Bill have, right, to do this? So,
his clock be ticking.
Yeah, his clock is ticking, right? So if you go this draft route, you're into 2 seasons and rolling a big set of dice, right? Just to pivot from the quarterback news for a moment, tight end Zach Ertz signed with the Lions practice squad.
Yep, I saw that.
So yeah, Arch Manning is a quarterback for the Longhorns. He was a freshman this year. He's only 18 years old.
Okay. So yeah, he's got at least a year or 2.
Yeah. Maybe 3 if he's smart.
The Eagles continue to clean house. They have fired offensive coordinator Brian Johnson. They fired a defensive coordinator. They're basically firing everyone except Sirianni. I am, and maybe Davey can help clean this up for me because I'm still trying to make heads or tails of what the hell is going on in Philadelphia. Obviously, they were looking really good the first half of the season. The second half of the season, they hit a brick wall like the crash test dummies. It was like a bad car chase on cops. And we'll still be evaluating what the hell happened to this year's Eagles squad. Super Bowl hangover, whatever it might be. But the fact that they're cleaning house with everyone except for Sirianni, I know you can't fire a guy just 1 year after a Super Bowl appearance and a winning record. I know you can't do that. But with them firing essentially everyone in the 2 big, they fired 2 defensive coordinators, an offensive coordinator. Is this a red flag to Sirianni? Get your shit together. Otherwise, next year.
Yeah, it could very well be a shot across the bow.
Yeah, shot across the bow. Very good terminology. I like that one. Once again, Davey to the rescue.
Yeah. It's like,
God almighty, I still hear that fucking cat in heat.
It's kind of like the tools we gave you to do this job didn't work, obviously. So we're giving you a whole new set of tools to do this job. If we get the same result, the tools may stay, but the person using them and implementing them may not. So that's how that may play out in Philadelphia.
I think unless Sirianni gets them to at least the NFC Championship next year, he's gone. He could go to the NFC Championship next year, lose, and still keep his job. But if he goes any less than that, I think he's done. As you said, this is a shot across the bow.
Yeah. Well, if they get any hint or idea of the collapse that we see this year happening, they'll be a lot more apt to pull that plug.
On his only saving grace, and I do not wish this on Jalen because I really like Jalen Hurts. Should Jalen Hurts get injured at some point in the year and the team is just, doesn't have their quarterback, I could see him getting a bit of a reprieve. But if Hurts is healthy all year and they don't make the NFC title game, I think Sirianni's out next year.
Oh, I don't think the Eagles are making the NFC Championship game at all next year.
This was a story I wanted to touch on. I wanted.
Wait. Go back to the headline. No, the headline of the story you pulled up.
This one?
The Brandon Bean one that you pulled up.
Brandon Bean?
The wide receiver Stephon Diggs story.
Yeah.
The fact that they still view him as wide receiver 1 is hilarious because there's no way Stephon Diggs is a Bill next year, right?
He's a free agent, I believe. I think he's still under contract for one more year, I believe. But Stephon Diggs, Buffalo is such an odd team when you get into the weeds of Buffalo. They are such an odd team the way they are constructed. Stephon Diggs is not – I didn't think he was a number one when he got there. I thought he was a number one strictly by circumstance rather than talent. I think Buffalo would do great service to themselves to trade Diggs.
So, Cap, I just pulled up his contract. Stephon Diggs in 2024 signed a 4-year contract worth $96 million that goes until 2028 when he becomes an unrestricted free agent.
God almighty. Whoever signed him to that is a blithering fucking idiot.
Total guaranteed money, $70 million on.
So you can't trade him because you're going to be
to paper. He was guaranteed $47,985,000 pen to paper.
Well, I was about to say, if he's going to be a free agent, you trade him and get what you can for him, which I think you could easily get a first or a second rounder for him. But with that deal, my God, you trade him, you're going to have so much fucking dead cap.
Well, he's had over 1,000 yards every year since 2018. He had 1,183 yards this year receiving, played in all 17 games.
A 1,000-yard season now, though, isn't what it used to be. That's the problem. Is we're still living under this assumption that the 1,000-yard rushing season, the 1,000-yard receiving season. I think now it's the 1,500-yard receiving season.
You are not telling me you're not impressed with the 1,000-yard rushing season.
No, it's the 1,500-yard receiving season and the 1,250 rushing season. Because I think the way the game has changed with adding a game, with everything that's going on, I don't view the 1,000-yard season as mattering anymore. I think it's 1,500 yards as a receiver, 1,200 as a running back. I think that's the new benchmark because just of the times that we're in.
There were 3 receivers this year that eclipsed 1,500 yards. Amon St. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek.
Yeah, that's the new elite mark. 1,500 is elite.
1,000 yards, there was 28. So an average of less than 1 per team.
So, yeah, a 1,000-yard receiver isn't an elite guy anymore. It's 1,500 receiving yards and probably 1,300 rushing yards. That's elite now.
I
Okay.
I'd say 1,200 and up.
So this year, only one running back got above 1,200 rushing yards.
McCaffrey.
Yeah, he almost had 1,500.
And is there another running back even close to his class?
Derrick Henry was 33 yards away from 1,200, which shows that he still has tread on his tires. Kyron Williams was 66 yards away, or 56 yards away. and James Cook was 78 yards away.
Again,
From
very
12.
good, but not elite.
And there was 12 players in total with 1,000 yards or more rushing.
Yep.
So
and
I think
somehow Tony Pollard slipped in on that list by 5 yards.
yeah, 1,500 for receivers, 1,200 for running backs. I think that's the new elite mark. And by elite, I'm talking about like the tippity top of the league. Stephon Diggs is not tippity top number one.
Maddie sounds very happy.
That cat is horny.
She
Oh, it's
is
the cat.
incredibly horny.
Oh, it's the cat. I thought it was Matthew.
Yeah. Are you making anything?
A story that
Cheers.
Cap is super happy about.
Let's sit down, babe.
The Raiders working to hire Tom Telesco as our GM. I love this. Tom Telesco, the former GM of the Chargers, who found Justin Herbert, who found Derwin James, who found Bosa, who found Eckler. This is the GM that put this Chargers talent together. If
Tom Telesco's a pretty damn good GM.
I would love this. We get Antonio Pierce, a coach who the guys love. We get a GM who knows what the fuck he's doing. I read this is the second happiest sports story today for Cap. Joe Mauer getting into the Hall of Fame, Tom Telesco potentially the Raiders GM. I love this. This makes Cap very happy.
Are you going to start sounding like the cat? If you
Well,
start purring,
I'm about to have a dinner of clam chowder and a pastrami and Swiss. Maybe
Because
after that,
I was going to say, because
I'll
if you
sound
start
super horny.
if you start purring, I'm out.
I would love for us to get Tom Telesco as our GM. He is a great GM. Why the Chargers fired him is I understand firing dipshit, but firing Telesco is ridiculous. If we can scoop him up, I feel in 2 to 3 years he can put together a great team for us. So please, Tom Telesco, come to Vegas. Be a Raider. Yeah.
That would be a very good get for you guys.
That would be a very good get. Anything else before we get into the nuts and bolts, the nitty, the gritty of what went on this weekend and what we have ahead of us in the coming weekend, where we will have the Cap, the Maddie, the Dev, the 1-and-1s of ones of one of one at Casa de Cap for Championship Sunday.
You guys will be busy this weekend.
Oh yes, we will have Rumble
two.
Saturday and Championship Sunday.
Yeah.
So don't you guys drink too much. We got to be coherent. We got work to do.
What?
Ravens demolished the Texans 34-10. I do not feel any less happy about the Texans and their situation. They just ran up against the best team.
No, congratulations to the Houston Strouds. This was definitely not a season we saw coming from them.
No.
Especially after being the bottom of the barrel last year.
Yeah. The Texans deserve a pat on the back from everybody.
Houston showed incredible increase in production the moment they got CJ Stroud.
And don't forget, they lost CJ Stroud for 3 weeks due to a concussion.
Will Anderson apparently was emotional after the game, after they lost, by how badly they lost. CJ Stroud went up to him and told him, "Big dog, we're good. Next year we'll be here again."
They will be back next year.
And Will Anderson said, "Captain said we're good." CJ Stroud is a rookie, and bringing up another rookie as if he's a veteran.
Like this season for Houston and Stroud was one where basically it was a statement of we have arrived. We're here.
Yes.
Right? and they will continue to be there with the lineup that they have. So next season, look out. Right,
Houston may very well be in the position Baltimore is in this year.
Houston won 10 games this year. Do you see them getting into the teens, 12 or 13 next year?
I do. Yeah.
Another thing that we had to point out, CJ Stroud was out for 3 games. Not only that, they lost Tank Dell. Nico Collins got hurt during the season. Devin Singletary got hurt throughout the season. Houston was not a healthy team all year. Give them a healthy 17 games. Houston can win
13.
12 to 13 games next year.
Yeah.
Tank Dell going down was a bigger loss than people thought it was.
And then the media covered.
It was much bigger.
Yeah.
And we covered that in RAWBall Red Zone. Losing him was big.
Next year, a healthy Houston. If Houston was a full healthy team, they beat Baltimore this game potentially.
Like Tank Dell, he played 11 games. Started.
I don't think, as presently constituted, all things health, all persons healthy, that they beat Baltimore. But this isn't 34.
I said potentially.
No, I'm saying it's not. I'm saying it's not 34-10. It's a far closer. We're talking like a field goal.
And we have to talk about how young Houston's defense was as well.
Well, speaking of young, the Packers with the youngest roster to ever do this came within an eyelash
from the 7th seed
of knocking off San Francisco. I feel your pain, Tom Grassi. We love you here at RAWBall.
San Francisco did not look good in this.
They did not look. They did not look good. I somehow feel like Green Bay should have won this.
Cap, I think I said it week 4 or week 5 when they tried to have Jordan Love do the Hail Mary in overtime. You cannot try to make Jordan Love Aaron Rodgers. And that's what they tried to do here. And you can't do that. Jordan Love did very good this game. Yes, he had 2 interceptions. One wasn't his fault. But this Packers team showed me that next year they will be here again. I don't know if they're going to be the NFC North has so much promise. And I genuinely see either Detroit or Green Bay getting the wild card again this next year.
I've heard people saying D'Amico Ryan should be coach of the year.
Kevin Stefanski.
I think Matt LaFleur.
Well, Cleveland's coach should have that wrapped up with everything they had to deal with there.
Okay, yeah, but God,
how many quarterbacks? How many quarterbacks did Cleveland have to recycle through?
They picked Joe Flacco up off of his couch.
Yeah, like Joe Flacco was looking on the couch playing PS5. It's like, are you busy? No. They were still getting like win after win after win. Right?
After losing Chubb to a horrible knee injury week 3.
Yeah, and that's a huge blow. Like that's a big part of their offense, right? Like
I said when it happened that the Browns are out of the playoffs just because they lost Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I figured they were done, but they weren't. They kept going.
So the Browns is another team.
You may have a good point there with Stefanski. I wasn't. I was thinking more of teams who advanced that were.
LaFleur has a shout for it because he took this team, like you said, the youngest team in the NFL to do.
They were not good the first half of the year.
It was scary. You can go to our friend Tom Grassi's channel on YouTube, and he talks about the same thing. But I talked about it all year. This team has so much raw talent. And they're so young. If they can keep
and they're not paying anybody. They've got cap room, and they can bring in guys. That
if
this
they can
Packers team is going to be dangerous if they do things right.
That's the thing. They don't need to bring people in. What they need to focus
They
on
can
this
afford
year,
to bring people in.
What they need to focus on this year in the draft, Green Bay needs a right tackle and a left tackle. David Bakhtiari is not going to be there much longer.
Agreed.
So they need someone to replace Bakhtiari, and they need a new blindside tackle. If they get that,
and this is a very tackle-heavy draft. Let's not forget
exactly.
So,
and they have if
we could
AJ Dillon.
We could see this is a very tackle-heavy draft. We could see them make a trade to move up to get a top tackle for Jordan Love. We could see that on either on draft night or in the intervening months.
Yeah, they can easily get a blindside tackle. They can easily get someone to, either learn under Bakhtiari or hopefully be the instant fill that they need for Bakhtiari if they lose him this year.
Yeah, there are a lot of good tackles in the draft.
If AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones are healthy the entire season, and they can utilize that two-headed dragon I've talked about all year, they have the youngest receiver core in the entire NFL. Yes. They have not one receiver in their top three that's not a rookie.
Yeah. Do what you did this year.
Christian Watson is like a 3-year guy, but
add some depth. Use that two-headed monster. Keep Jordan comfortable. He's shown he has incredibly advanced this year. He's learned how to throw from the pocket, give him protection, use the run game to make him comfortable. He already works great with this receiving core. This team, if everything goes right next year, this is a potential Super Bowl team. If they do everything right and everything goes well, this is a potential
several Super Bowl team. This could be a dynasty if they can keep healthy.
There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of nuts and bolts. But when you look at just sort of the big bullet points of it, apart from the nuts and bolts, the bullet points of it, this team could really be a threat for the next decade, half decade at least, if they do everything right. And Green Bay does have a track record of doing things right.
Like Green Bay, like the way I'm viewing them, they've constructed a very solid blueprint of how to win
and executed it.
Like what Maddie was saying about Jones and Dillon. That's a 1-2 punch you want, right? That works.
And you don't want to see on the other end.
Yeah, and the receiving core, same what Maddie said. It's a good young core. That's fine. That's good there, right? So they have the blueprint. They got the structure of what they want to do going forward. So now they're just looking, okay, we need a couple of accessories.
They've got the foundation poured. They've got the walls put up. Now it's about the roof and adorning and,
what's
the little things.
What's going to go good with what we have, right? What's going to accentuate this core that we have here, right? So that's where they are right now. So they're going to be a force in the NFL next year, and especially with the strides that Love took on the second half of this season, like night and day, first half, second half. So
if y'all have noticed, we're talking more about the Packers than we are about the 49ers, because once again, the 49ers did not look like the 49ers that have been dominating the rest of the year.
No.
Green Bay could easily bump San Francisco out of here.
The 49ers have, to Davy's point, the 49ers and the Packers are kind of the same team. The 49ers have one way to win. Don't get behind, keep a lead, let your defense do its job. The Packers have multiple ways of winning. They just have to sort of zero in on it and figure out what their best course of action is going to be for 2024. The 49ers are still the same 49ers as they were last year when we watched them get trounced by Philadelphia. This team is their defense, their star players and Brock Purdy not fucking up. And again, this is a team that can win the Super Bowl, but everything is going, all the pegs, all the round pegs are going to have to fit into the square holes for everything to work.
Yeah, like I'm still not sold on Brock Purdy. You know, I'm down by 10 with 10 minutes to go in the fourth. I'm still not sold he's the guy
Nor am I.
to get you those 10 points to tie it or those 13 points to win it. I'm convinced the defense is there to hold that 10 points and not add to the deficit. I'm convinced of that, but I'm not convinced Purdy is the guy to lead them back from it, from what I've seen.
Agreed.
I think Davey's going to have fun talking shit about this game.
Lions beat the Buccaneers 31-23. This game felt like this was the one game, well, actually 2 games from the weekend where I don't think the final score really tells a story. The Lions handled the Buccaneers. In my opinion, from what I saw, the Lions handled the Buccaneers. Baker played great. He did.
It was the best of both Barkers.
Everything you could ask him to, but he threw 2 picks. You cannot do that in these situations. Again, the Lions let them back in. To Davey's point that Davey has made all year, the Lions let them back in, too close for comfort, but they did their job. I really like this Lions team. I don't love this Lions team. I know Maddie is just rocking a semi right now over the Lions, but I haven't taken a look at the lines yet. Not the Lions, the lines for the game. We'll get to those here in just a few minutes.
I'll pull up DraftKings for y'all so we can go through everything real quick.
Well, no, not yet. We still got multiple.
I know.
The Lions did their job this game, and they managed to. Davey, to your point, how the Lions always let teams back in to either tie it or take the lead, and then they would have to win it later. The Lions at least kept this thing to where they maintained the lead. They didn't let a team tie it or.
Yeah, like 3 points each in the first, 7 each in the second, 7 each in the third, and then Lions pulled away in the fourth, 14 points to 6.
The Lions did the job, and they did it right.
Yeah. And to add a little parallel to the Green Bay chat that we just previously had with the 2-headed monster at running back, you have that in Detroit.
Jahmyr Gibbs
and Montgomery
was a steal of last year's draft.
They use that 2-headed monster in Detroit to a T. Both of those men have been healthy almost the entirety of the season. Mm-hmm. And if you've looked at it, combined between those two, they almost have 30 fucking touchdowns.
Yes.
And they spread the ball around on offense. Right? Like St. Brown had 77, Laporta had 65, Gibbs had 40. Through the air, Williams at 35, right? 20.
Detroit knows who they are,
and Sam Laporta also rookie tight end coming into the league, fucking killed it this year.
Yes.
Although the only thing about Laporta's game, he needs to get better at blocking.
Yes, he does. But
that comes with time.
You cannot argue this team, the Lions, over the last 3 drafts. Can you name a team in the NFL who has drafted better than the Detroit Lions the last 3 years?
Well, they got a lot of draft picks out of.
They have hit on basically every single one of their top 2-3 picks every single year.
Yeah, I was about to say Aiden Hutchinson was one of the biggest ones that they got.
They have not missed on their draft.
Because they needed a dominant defensive player, and Aiden Hutchinson has proved that he's almost unguardable at that right end position.
Miss Maggams wanted to say hello, Maddie.
Oh, hello,
She'll see you in a few days.
I know Devin can't wait.
Oh, you see
But-
that you're going to have multiple legs to hump.
But Detroit taking the Super Bowl this year. They're beating Baltimore in the Super Bowl.
Maddie, you are a bold SOB.
I know I am.
Even Maggie's like, is he really talking sense here? Then the big one of the weekend. The Chiefs defeat the Bills 27-24. Cap said a week ago that the Chiefs were winning this. I said Sunday night by hook, by crook, by ref, or by theft. The Chiefs are winning this game. All of you guys told me I was full of shit. Who was right? Let me just go back to the replay here. What is it? Looks like it was a round of Bills for 3 out of the 4 RAWBallers, but here is Lone Cap, who said the Chiefs were going to win. I wonder.
Cap?
Yeah.
Hey, Cap, I do have one thing to point out.
Uh-huh.
How did the Chiefs do that? Oh, Andy Reid utilized the run. What is something that you've bitched about all goddamn season?
I've bitched about Andy Reid his entire career that he doesn't utilize the run. Not
you've
just
got a
this
very
year,
good
but
point.
every other year.
But
The problem was the Bills.
Pacheco, he's that guy.
I've often said if Andy Reid had Walter Payton in his prime, he wouldn't utilize him properly, and he still wouldn't. I stand by that. The problem was this Bills team, their defense was racked by injuries. They have, ever since they got rid of Ken Dorsey as their OC, they have gotten far more conservative in their play calling. And I'll also throw this to you. As I said, the refereeing crew for the game, Sean Hockley, the Chiefs are now 8-0 when he referees their games.
There was a lot of laundry in that game.
This was the Bills. How do I phrase this? I don't really have a problem, and I'm not wide right. That could happen to either team. This was the Bills not having a defense capable of stopping the Chiefs, and them making one bonehead call, which was the fake punt that didn't work out, and then also the wide right. And then also the wide right, which ultimately was their undoing. The Bills, with the injuries they had, do not have a defense that can stop the Chiefs. I looked at it all last week and I said, I know everyone's saying, oh, the Bills are just on a streak. They're riding the lightning. No, they don't have a defense that can stop the Chiefs. They don't have it.
Again, Tyler Bass missed a kick that would have this game tied if the game ended with that field goal made.
And it would have gone to overtime, and the Chiefs would have still won the fucker.
I was about to say the only thing is, I don't know if Buffalo could survive another coin flip.
They were not able to stop the Chiefs the last 3/4 of that game, at least the last half. They were not able to stop the Chiefs. This team was so beat to shit with injury. They did not have the defensive personnel to stop the Chiefs. The Bills, the 24 points they put up, what they did should have been enough to beat this Chiefs team. The problem is their defense allowed 27.
Stephon Diggs also dropped, and in his hands, 65-yard dot. He dropped that. If they had made that catch, I think Buffalo wins this game. So as much as people give Tyler Bass shit for missing that kick wide right part 2, by the way, Stephon Diggs is just as much to play into that loss
He-
as anybody.
Davey
Steph-
will remember this.
Steph-
Maddie, are
Stephon
you
Di-
familiar with?
Stephon
My
Diggs.
apologies, Davey. Davey will remember this. Florida State and Miami, they had 3 wide rights and a wide left in their famous rivalry in the 90s during the Bobby Bowden era. Wide right is a thing. Davey knows what I'm talking about.
I do, yeah.
As you were
To
saying,
touch on Maddie's point, Diggs in that game was targeted 8 times. He had 3 receptions.
for 21 yards. Both
that-
me and Davey missed out on money because of that fucker.
So that played into it too, right? Like that, the Bills could have easily won that game.
Diggs ain't the guy. I'm sorry, Buffalo.
I will say Tyler Bass has deactivated like all of his social media accounts. So all I can say is, as you know, mental health advocates, hearts go out to Tyler Bass. Hope he's doing okay, because I know he probably got a lot of shit for missing that kick, and people really do take sports way too far.
Well, look no further than the Cubs Marlins divisional round playoff game with Bartman. That poor gentleman, his life was essentially ruined because of that.
Well, we got 20 minutes left. Let's hit the meat of the conversation. Championship Sunday.
We will have the Cap, the Maddie, the Dev, all here at Casa de Cap.
And
for
Davey from Canada, of course.
Yeah.
And Davey in Canada, of course, except in Indiana.
Indiana.
This coming Sunday for Championship Sunday, watching the footballs. God, I'm starting to sound Canadian. But we will be doing that this Sunday, covering both games. 2 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Cap Time.
Do you want to share your screen?
Well, no, because this the way it does, it reveals the second game. It is Chiefs at Ravens. The line presently is Ravens -3.5.
A very, very peculiar thing here between the two games, and I'll point this out whenever we get to Detroit versus San Francisco. The total score, the over-under, is 44.5.
Yep.
I am tempted to take the under on that, as Baltimore has one of the best defenses in the NFL, and I don't know if Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce can defend against the fact that the Ravens have very good hands on their linebacker core. Patrick Queen,
Hold
Roquan
on.
Smith.
Let me get a new sheet of paper here. You know, Cap loves his legal pads. All right. So we got the Cap. We got the Maddie. We got the Davey. All right. Chiefs.
You're going Kansas City? Oh, okay.
Ravens. No, I'm getting my thing here set. So Linus Ravens -3.5. Maddie.
My money is on Baltimore, and
The over-under.
I don't know if it's going to be as close as 3.5. I think they're going to go over that, but I will say I might take the total, as I see Baltimore blowing out Kansas City here.
So you're taking the over 44.5?
I'm taking over 44.5, and I'm taking Baltimore money line, which, by the
All
way,
right.
Baltimore is the favorite.
Yes. All right, Davey, you're up. Your predictions.
I think it goes under the 44.5, and Baltimore wins.
Ravens under
Under.
44.5. Cap has been right for so many weeks now.
Sure you have.
And yet I don't get the respect. I'm like Rodney Dangerfield. I never get no respect. I am taking Chiefs over 44 and a half. I love this Ravens. This Ravens team is everything that you would want in a team to be. But there's one problem. They don't have Patrick Mahomes. They don't have Andy Reid. They don't have Taylor Swift.
They don't
have Travis Kelce.
They have Odell Beckham. They have Mark Andrews. They have Zay Flowers. They have Roquan Smith. They have Patrick Queen. They have more star players than the Chiefs do. Just because they've got the favor of the media, Baltimore takes this game, Cap.
You mentioned I also mentioned Andy Reid, who is...
And I will mention John Harbaugh.
Well, I am taking the Chiefs, and I'm going over 44 and a half. Now, the number that's really going to piss Maddie off. Lions at 49ers.
I don't think this is going to piss me off, man.
49ers are home favorites -7.
You know what? And the points, the over-under in points, this is why I said this is such a weird, different game. I've got 51 even through DraftKings.
Okay.
That's what I got here on ProLine up in the Great White North.
Okay.
So
50.5, 51.
I will throw this out there. Lions spread, the total over, and Lions money line. I'll take the entire line, Detroit.
Lions to win and Lions money line.
You're damn right. And I'll also go the over 51 points.
Davey?
I think this goes over, and I think Detroit takes it.
All right. Lions over 50 and a half.
Which with my picks leads to a Detroit Baltimore Super Bowl. With Davies' picks leads to a Detroit Baltimore Super Bowl. Caps leads to a Kansas City Detroit Super Bowl? Or did you go with the Niners?
I haven't made my pick yet. I haven't announced it. I am taking 49ers to win, and I am taking the under.
Okay, so you're going under 50 points.
I am going under 51. So I am calling it, I am saying the Super Bowl is going to be Chiefs versus 49ers.
And we all know that Devin is also going Detroit, Baltimore. So that's three of us going Detroit, Baltimore. One of us going Kansas City, San Francisco. You know what? Fuck it. I will make sure that I have a bet down for Kansas City, San Francisco as well. Just so to see if you make money.
Folks, we know how this goes. We've been here. We've seen the movie. We've seen the trailer.
None of us are making money.
The Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. The Lions were a nice story. But, well, I will say this. Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. I'm incredibly confident in that. 49ers, I'm not as confident. I could see the Lions pulling this out, but Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl and they're winning. That's just what's going to happen.
Because Taylor Swift is there does not mean they have to win, Cap.
Well, you doubted me last week. Let's see if you doubt me this week in my own home.
You know what? I will.
All right.
I think didn't we put money on this? $25 each of us?
No, we put if the Chiefs make the Super Bowl,
No.
i.e.,
I was about to say at this point, didn't we put money on the fact that Buffalo or that Kansas City was going to beat Baltimore?
no, we didn't put any money on that.
Oh, okay.
The standing bets are if the Chiefs make the Super Bowl, Maddie has to eat the well done piece of steak covered in ketchup wearing a Mahomes jersey. And I believe Dev's bet was if Baltimore makes the Super Bowl, he gets a tramp stamp. Was that it?
Not a tramp stamp, but
Not
yes,
a tramp stamp. He has to get a tattoo. Okay.
No, he gets a tattoo of the ball of Baltimore, I believe. I believe he's getting a Baltimore.
So the body part was not specified there.
But I'm pretty sure it's a Baltimore Ravens tattoo, yes. I'm pretty sure it's a Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl tattoo.
Yeah. It was a Baltimore Ravens. I would make a bet further if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, Maddie has to get a Chiefs tramp stamp, but I know Maddie won't take that one.
Bro, I went to a small town in Missouri and I went through a thrift store. They had Patrick Mahomes metal cutouts. I'm not okay with that.
They had a cutout of Mahomes?
We'll wait until this weekend shakes out to see what Super Bowl bets we'll put on for the RAWBall podcast.
Did you say they had a cutout of Mahomes?
Out of metal, yes. Someone painted a metal cutout into Patrick Mahomes going like this.
I thought it was like a cardboard one, like Mahomes board or Mahomes card.
Yeah, something like that.
Card blade.
Well, so we
got
have
a couple of minutes left here.
We have
let's go Nuggets.
3 out of 4 ballers going Ravens Lions. The lone wise baller going Chiefs 49ers. So we shall see come Sunday. It's gonna be a fun weekend. The boys are coming down to Casa de Cap.
Much love to Devin, by the way. Not being here the last couple shows. And going through a very, very rough time. We love you, D. And me and him are going cross country here in 2 days.
2 days. Yep. 2 days. And to confirm a topic we covered there a little bit earlier, Las Vegas Raiders. Tom Telesco has been named general manager of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Cap is ecstatic. He will be rubbing one out for the boys after we go off air.
No, I will be eating clam chowder and eating a pastrami on Swiss.
Rubbing one out for the boys.
Culinarily. Saturday.
That's an interesting combination. I've never had that before.
Well, it's my favorite sandwich and one of my favorite soups. John's big on soups.
Do they go together?
Not at all, but I love them both.
Fuck it. Okay.
Yeah, Saturday night it will be the RAWBall boys covering the Rumble along with the Davy. Looking forward to that. Nia Jax winning the women's Rumble is going to have.
I don't know if Davy's going to be there.
Well, before we part ways here, before we finish the show off, you guys will be watching the Rumble. So right now we have 4 matches confirmed for said event.
To be fair, there's two 30-person matches.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So pick your winners now, boys. WWE United States title match. Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens. So who you pick?
I want to shoot myself in the fucking testicles, Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
Yes, I would pick Logan Paul as well. He has yet to defend said title since he won it, so I don't think they have him drop it in his first one.
You think if I personally cut my testicle out and sell it for the amount of money it's worth, it would be more enjoyable than watching Logan Paul beat my boy Kevin Owens?
Funny, I had this conversation last night with a mutual friend of ours, Tidy.
What?
who has followed the
We talked
RAWBall.
about cutting testicles out?
No, he was hoping for Kevin Owens to win as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the other one is the WWE Universal title in the 4-way. Roman Reigns champion versus AJ Styles versus Randy Orton versus LA Knight.
Is this the most
Roman.
predictable fatal 4-way of all time? I'm going Roman Reigns.
Yeah, it is. It's just the only thing is how they get it there. Who's pinning who and what
LA
kerfuffle
Knight is
will-
taking the pin because Orton's not taking it. AJ's not taking it.
No, those two just came back, so it'll be Knight eating it. But it's how they're going to get there to get that done, and what kerfuffle will be at the end of said match to get it there. But yeah, Roman will win that. Announced for the women, we have Becky Lynch, Bayley, Nia Jax, Bianca Belair. Those are the only ones announced so far that I have.
This is the year of Bianca, or not Bianca, of Bayley.
Yes, I would agree with that. I think
I'm gonna go Bailey as well, though. I would love to see Nia Jax win just to see Dev have a complete and total meltdown.
We're going to be doing like alternative commentary to this show, and Devin's going to have a fucking aneurysm on set.
But Bayley
I'm
would
gonna
make-
be locking all sharp objects away once the women's rumble starts, because if Nia somehow wins, Dev is gonna go post office.
Well, Bailey would make sense with what they got going on with Damage Control, because Bailey's likely getting ousted from that group. So I think the majority of Damage Control will be in that. Probably Asuka and Kairi Sane, which
Bailey's got to eliminate one or
eliminates
two of
them.
them.
Probably both. There's no point of Io being in there because she's champion.
One quick,
But I've also seen Dakota Kai could return and eliminate Bailey, and I've thought about that, and I was like, fuck, Bailey could not win this match, but my money is on Bailey.
Yeah,
I can't put money on the match because they won't let me.
And
one quick bit of news I have to insert: both CNN and the New York Times are projecting Donald Trump to win the New Hampshire primary. No surprise, but it is now more or
Water
less
is wet.
official. Yeah, water is wet.
Water is wet. The men's Royal Rumble. Those announced so far: Shinsuke Nakamura, CM Punk, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, Gunther, Damian Priest. Just kind of an odd entry, seeing as how he holds a briefcase to have that match whenever he wants it. But he's in there. Who we picking here? Someone listed or someone as yet to be?
I am going with a 1994-esque tie. I think it is going to be a Cody Punk tie.
For the first time ever, I have absolutely no fucking idea who is going to win the men's Royal Rumble. And I think that's a good thing. That's a
It'll be a
very
Luger
good
Brett
thing.
Orton Batista tie.
I was about to say, for the fact that it's, for me, unpredictable, that's a very good thing, I think. So congratulations to WWE for doing that. I also don't watch the weekly product, so congratulations for doing that as well.
I'm going Dwayne.
Oh.
I think
Rock the
Dwayne comes
Dwayne.
out at 29 or 30, because based on what I did see of his 2-minute kerfuffle with Don't Hinder the Gender, he's pretty gassed. Don't see him being in there very long, but I think he wins it, and that gets you your Roman
I have two
Dwayne
names.
match at Mania.
I
Go
have
ahead,
two
Maddie.
names.
All right.
One, Cody Rhodes does the two-peat, something that hasn't been done since the 90s.
97, 98, Austin. And
Number two,
Shawn Michaels, 95 pardon me, was it 90?
I think 95, 96.
He won 96. He was a co-winner. He won 95, 96. Yep, Shawn Michaels. Yep, 95, 96.
And then Hogan, I also think, had it in the early 90s, like 90 to 91.
Yep, 90, 91.
Funny you should mention that.
So we've had 3.
No, Davey, don't even. No, Hogan is not coming back in the Rumble. If he does, I'm going to have an aneurysm on set.
Oh,
Boy, I tell you something, brother.
Hogan.
The Hulkster is going to be in Orlando.
Hogan
And he's got one more left in him.
Hogan last night literally stated that. Do I have one more left in me?
No.
Whether or not he actually shows in the Rumble, I don't know. I don't really care.
You remember about 8 months ago, I said Hogan comes back, wins Money in the Bank, cashes in on Roman. Hogan enters the Rumble and wins and faces Roman.
If
Stupid.
If they do it, right, I think it would just be for a very misguided pop that they probably
misguided.
Bell would ring, Roman would hit the spear, and the match would be over.
No. I don't mean for that. He's not doing that. I just mean like to be in the Rumble.
Dude, it would be painful.
But it wouldn't surprise me.
Number two, by the way, was Gunther.
Gunther, yeah, based on what he said last night with Seth, it opens up that.
You said
right?
Gunther and who else, Matty?
Cody
and Gunther. Okay.
But if Gunther wins it, right? He already said he's going after Seth.
Yeah. Oh, you know something, brother.
Yeah, I would hope they don't do that. But
if they did,
find out Saturday.
And I pray. I am taking my little Pope Francis bobblehead right here. I pray they do not, in any way, shape, or form, have Hogan win or enter the Royal Rumble. However, if for the love of God they decide to do that, and they do what we were just discussing.
And as reported earlier through the RAWBall podcast on the Twitter, William Regal has made an appearance on NXT this evening.
Let's go.
Stay tuned to the RAWBall podcast for accurate and up-to-date information that is sourced out.
Maddie, are you doing Greg Cherry tomorrow night?
Yeah, more than likely. It's the Royal Rumble numbers draft. So
are you doing the logo on Thursday night?
No, because I will be driving.
Okay. Well, since this will be the last time all 3 of us are together until, I'm guessing, Rumble Saturday night and Championship Sunday.
Now, as for the broadcast Saturday, I will not be watching the Rumble myself. I will be tuning into the alternate programming of Collision. So I can be
if you want to join us once that's, I'm guessing one will be over before the other if you want to pop in.
Well, what we could do is you guys will be watching the Rumble, so you will have your live reactions, and I will be kind of reacting to your reactions, and I will be watching the Collision, which would also give you live reactions and updates as to what is going on there.
Okay. Well, hey, however you want to do it, David.
That would be a way to do it. Best of both worlds. If you're not sure,
obviously
if you're
Sunday.
If you're not sure what you want to watch Saturday, tune into RAWBall.
Well, no, we'll be watching. I'm guessing Sunday we're going to be recovering from a foghorns and whiskey hangover on Saturday and just watching a shitload of wrestling and playing Madden. And then once the Rumble starts.
Well, I was referring to our kind of fan base here. If you're unsure,
okay,
right?
I was referring to
right.
To
if you're
we just I feel like to see what condition our condition would be.
I feel like the best route for that would be on the YouTube. Me, Devin, and Cap do the alternative commentary, and Davey does AEW reactions on the Twitter.
That would be a way to do it too. Yeah.
Hey,
I'm good either way.
Cap is the leader of the ship who goes with what's best for business. However, my guys want to do it, and however we can feature the most content, that's what we will do. So yeah. Matty looks like he just shoved about a 6-inch piece of pineapple in his gullet. What the? Is that goddamn Velveeta?
No, it's extra sharp cheddar.
Oh, that's what that's actually what I'm going to be putting in the homemade mac and cheese for Saturday night. Going to do some chili dogs and some homemade mac and cheese with some Ruffles potato chips. You know, my favorite snack. Cheddar sour cream Ruffles, best potato chip on the planet. So yeah, you'll have some homemade mac and cheese and chili dogs to enjoy the Rumble with.
Sounds good to me.
And what's the update on our future podcast with Dave and the Kiss? Any word on that?
Oh, I emailed Dave early this week. I haven't heard back from him just yet. Dave wears many hats. He is a private guitar instructor. He is a college professor. He also runs an instrument, a guitar shop. He wears many hats. He is also the married father of 3. So I told him once everything is in place, we will do Kiss Part 2. There are 3 other acts, which we want to get done this year, which will take multiple parts. Those bands being Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, and Frank Zappa. But once I hear from Dave, I will announce the Kiss Part 2.
Yeah, so everybody stay tuned for that. If you're music fans, we also do music as well. So.
Yep, and actually I'm going to email him again just because I was trying to do it this week, but I didn't hear back from him. So I am actually going to be emailing him as we speak to see when we can do that.
And on behalf of me, stay tuned. I'll probably be on Greg Cherry tomorrow. Keep your eyes and ears open for Crew Day. Saturday and Sunday, we'll be here on RAWBall with me, Cap, Devin, Davey on Sunday. We might try to reach out to a couple people. I might see if Greg Cherry is available for the Sunday to see make him watch a divisional rival beat the Chiefs, hopefully.
It's going to be a fun weekend for the Raw Ballers.
Yeah. Thursday, me and Devin are driving down to Arkansas. We'll arrive Friday morning. And
we will have breakfast and coffee ready for you.
And yeah, so from Friday into Sunday night, we'll be in Arkansas. Monday morning, afternoon-ish, we'll be driving into our old hometown of West Plains. So if any of our friends out there are watching us, feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to Devin. And we might try to see you guys that Monday to Tuesday. And then Tuesday afternoon, evening, we'll be driving back home. Arriving back home Wednesday morning. Oh, it's going to be such a long weekend, but we are looking forward to it. Me and Devin have never been to the state of Oklahoma, so this is actually going to be kind of fun for us.
I have never been to Oklahoma either.
A lot of dirt. Anywho.
A lot of dirt in Oklahoma? So like every other state and province?
More or less, Dust Bowl. Oklahoma's pretty bland. Tulsa's a great town. I love Tulsa. McNally's, you know who you are, greatest beer bar on the planet. Oklahoma City, had a lot of fun times there. But yeah, Tulsa's my Oklahoma town. Love Tulsa. But the rest of Oklahoma,
well,
you have work to do.
Is there anything else that we want to point out, say, plug?
I am so happy to be spending this coming Rumble weekend for the 3rd straight year with my brothers from other mothers. First year was St. Louis. Second year was San Antonio. This year is Fayetteville. I love Rumble weekend because it means I get to hang out with my 2 favorite guys on the planet and just enjoy life. I'm tickled to death that I get to do this again for a 3rd straight year.
We're very much looking forward to it, dude. And again, driving through Oklahoma for the first time ever, that's going to be something. We're looking forward to everything. So, with all that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in as always. Tell a friend. Subscribe to us. It'll be nice. We're almost, I think, we're one subscriber away from 50. So, that'll be nice.
And follow us on the Twitter at RAWBall123 and become part of the
other
RAWBall
one was
family.
considered a fraud, apparently.
This one is very much legit. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for tuning in as always. On behalf of the RAWBall crew, I would like to remind you all to stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated, don't get arrested, don't get pulled over in the state of Kansas. What else have I missed?
Except in Indiana.
And ball out with the RAWBall podcast. We will see you again very soon. Thank you all very much. Come on, music.